All right, you guys. So, does anybody want to count us down?
Are racers gonna deafen and let commentators handle this?
Okay. We gotta wait till he resets then.
I gotta reset. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Thanks for letting us know.
Did the game freeze?
I wanted to check if I had monsters on or not, and then I pressed the wrong button and confirmed.
Oh. Lovely.
Like I said, I forgot. Because I have mine in PSX configuration, not Switch configuration. So the buttons are reversed half the time, and it's confusing to me.
Yeah.
But PSX configuration is what I'm used to for like the entirety of the gameplay. It's just the confirmation menus and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing on Switch?
Yeah.
Okay. Elevator, you're playing on PC?
Yeah, PC, Steam.
I'm playing on PS5.
Cool.
You got the full array then.
Cool. All the different ways.
Yep.
Yeah. They're all pretty close.
So we can definitely let the commentators handle this run, right?
Oh yeah.
So we can. All right, and then
I'm
bingo.
gonna mute as soon as it starts.
We'll chirp at each other during bingo.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gotcha. All right. Yep. I am back to ready.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Who wants to count us down?
So I'll do the countdown.
Cool.
Everybody's ready though, right?
Yep.
Ready.
Ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Have fun.
All right, so kind of going into the main event now. If you guys have been fans of Elevated and watching his stream for a long time, you've probably seen Legend of Mana before, but in case any of you are new to this game, LOM's a retro action RPG with beat-em-up style combat and a world-building system, and those are the two big focuses in the speedrun, so, you know, this game doesn't really have any major glitches or sequence breaks. Instead, it's about optimizing combat and also coming up with clever routing using the map system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one good thing about the speedrun. You just gotta play fast. There's not like a lot of glitches or anything else.
Sorry, for some reason it looks like Phonis's isn't. It looks like I don't know if it's frozen, so we might have to reset, you guys. I apologize.
Yeah.
Let's just reset.
Yeah, it's frozen on your end. I can't see his.
Yeah, it's totally.
It did just click off for me for a second.
Yeah. Let me get it sorted.
The stream was loading on my end too, but it's fine. If he's playing, it's fine. Hopefully.
I mean, now Elevated's reset his timer.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to reset the whole thing.
No, we gotta reset. We gotta reset.
Okay.
Because Phonis's screen for some reason froze.
Yeah, I see it. All right. One more time.
All right, everybody's resetting.
Second time's the charm.
See? Even not running Lemur breaks the game.
Ah.
No. I like how Japanese is my default, but that's not what we're going for here.
Okay, so it's just like VLC doesn't want to work anymore, so I'm just gonna have to capture Phonis the way I'm capturing Mecha. Sorry, guys.
First. All right.
Elevated, if you can, something's happening with Phonis's capture.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to capture Phonis the way I'm capturing. I'm gonna have to capture Phonis a different way. Basically, VLC isn't working for me, and I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Don't worry, I woke up like a second late, so it's fine.
No worries.
I'm not sure that's a thing. I had the slow wake-up cycle.
Oh, no, now Lemur gets to do his revenge. I commented for him, now he gets to commentate for me. Any slights that I may have offered can now be revisited tenfold.
All right.
All right, we're real close.
I mean, it looks like everybody's ready, but does anybody? I don't know if
I don't see Phonis' screen yet.
Yeah, I don't see Phonis' screen. It looks like elevated screen.
There we go.
It looks
Elevated's still on the mana tree as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get.
Phonis looks good now, but
Unless maybe he is in position and his capture just stopped working.
Just trying to throw me off my groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The more times you restart, the more
resets, the less time you can cheat.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, it's not as pretty as it should be, but I think we might all be ready now. Hopefully,
I don't have a
your
timer
screen's
now.
not visible yet.
you should have a timer now. You should have a timer now.
You're still stuck on mana tree on my screen though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Refresh it or something.
Yeah, elevated on the on your actual stream. It's just showing the mana tree for you.
Yeah. So.
Oh, for me, yeah, because I need to reset.
Yeah.
That's my bad. Thank you.
Yeah, for you.
Mhm.
Everything else is fine. Just you was
Just waiting on me, huh?
That was a warm up. Sorry, I menued poorly anyway. We got this.
So did I, but like, I don't get to call a scratch on that.
the warm up for the warm up.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good now. We're good now. Let me get to the map.
That was the starting time warm up. Make sure everybody could start.
Yeah. Except I'm muting myself immediately, so.
These first menus better be perfect now, all right? You guys get 2 shots at it.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
Just wondering, is everybody playing in English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, ready when y'all are to count down.
All right. Looks
Agreed.
like everyone's in the starting
Ready.
position. Someone else
Bonus?
want to give the countdown?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
All right.
I'll count you guys down. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off.
Okay.
All right, so guess we'll just start over from the top. Legend of Mana is a retro action RPG, beat 'em up style combat and world building system. That's what the speedrun really focuses on, is optimizing that combat and creating an interesting creative route with the world building system. Don't really have a lot of big glitches or sequence breaks, so it's really just about optimizing play through tech and some combat exploits. So for this this race, they're going to be running the Faerie storyline category. So Legend of Mana is broken up by storylines rather than any percent or 100% definition. This is because to get to the end of the game, you have to do some more of the dev-intended methods of playing through a storyline and then beating the last dungeon of the game. So we separated the categories based on those storylines, and they are doing the Faerie storyline this time. Which
is one of the more pretty versions of the stories too, because the artwork's amazing, the music's amazing, the story is pretty good if you pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm. The bosses are really cool. Especially the Boreal Hound.
But there's like you said, Boreal Hound. There's another boss that kind of ruins the run for people called Spriggan. So hopefully the Spriggan doesn't go too terribly. But you know how luck is with these runs.
Yeah, of the 3 categories, Faerie tends to be the least RNG heavy, but there are a couple of points where bosses can kind of do some odd things that mess you up. So starting off the run, runners are going to just kind of throw on a couple of abilities for basic combat techniques, and then a special technique, which is also like a super move. And we'll see that as we get into the first dungeon, but before they do that, they got to pick up an artifact here called the color blocks, and this is when we get into the map building system. So we place the home originally, and now from home we have to build out the map and keep expanding the world. So we're going to place down the color blocks, and this will let us keep expanding that map.
Yeah. Elevated, I know you're probably busy. There you go.
No, I see it, man. I see it. But I don't know what to do about it.
It's refreshed now. I think
Yeah.
you're all right.
Yeah. they were kind of stuck. It seems like they keep getting stuck, specifically Mecha and Phonis on elevated.
It's because I couldn't get. It's because I couldn't get Streamlink to work. So I'm having to capture via Twitch, and it's just not good quality. You guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Honestly, it's not really working.
It's just hard. It's just kind of hard to see the race from
I hate
anyone that's
to
watching
say,
on the
yeah,
actual
it's
channel.
not
because
really working. It's
'Cause Mecha and
almost,
Phonis
it's
is
almost
a-
like
is,
people need to be
like
sent
dual
over to
source.
the multi-Twitch.
Yeah.
You know? It's almost like I want people to go to the multi-Twitch because it's that or reset and try to get it sorted. It's
You
because
want to
of
do
this-
audio on another channel then, right? Like have that be the fourth multi-Twitch?
Do what?
Can somebody do audio on their channel?
Oh, maybe. Do you think that's why we're having so much
Is there no
issues?
audio
No,
from-
I'm saying like if you're gonna do multi-Twitch that works, but they need to pull up the audio somehow too, right? Because if they're watching multi-Twitch,
Oh, right.
Right.
They would. Yeah, good point.
either they need the audio to come across on yours alone, which won't work because of the multi-Twitch.
Yeah.
right? So
You're
like
right.
we need another channel for somebody to do audio and just audio,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? But then you could do it, right? Like you could do it on the multi-Twitch. You just need a fourth Twitch for audio,
Yeah.
right? And then mute all the others.
What do you guys
You
want to
can
do?
do that.
What do you guys want to do right now? Since this isn't really fun for anybody to watch.
I mean, we can pause, we can restart. We're only 4 minutes in,
Okay,
right? Like
cool.
we want to go the multi-Twitch
Let's
route.
restart and let me
Yeah,
see if I can
mean,
figure
I
out
think the
why
race
this is not working.
Going smoothly because I could see Phonis and Mecha on my screen, and
Mhm.
but on
It's just
Elevated's
frozen on
actual
my end.
stream,
Yeah, on elevated
Yeah,
stream.
on the spectator stream.
Not-
it's
Oh, I
freezing up.
see
they are
what
frozen.
the
There you
issue
go.
is.
You just refreshed it, I think.
Okay, I
Mhm.
see
And
what
they
the
just
issue is.
happened to start again. So yeah,
Are you guys there?
but it seems like
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we're here.
Okay, so listen up.
Yeah.
Listen to this. The reason it wasn't working is because of
they're
the
pretty much
way.
like,
Hey, John.
either speaking to Nicola or
John?
Jade Egg.
I don't know if John can hear me. Maybe.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just want everyone to know that I think we're all good now, but this is so frustrating.
You had to pause for a bit to fix it.
Here's the thing, you guys. It might have to just be a race between you and Mecha, because the format, the way that I'm having to capture, since VLC doesn't seem to be working for me for whatever reason, is to pop out a Twitch video and to capture that. However, if those aren't in the foreground, that's when we're seeing all these pauses.
Foreground problems.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
maybe I need to just bail out of the race so we can get going. Do you know what I mean?
If that's what you need to do, then
Yeah,
I
because
understand.
it's just like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm wasting a lot of everybody's time.
Darn it.
And I do apologize.
No, things happen. It's not your fault.
Yeah. It's
And
rough.
you got the feed working pretty well now for Mecha and Phonis.
Yeah, those look
and they're in
great.
the highway.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool, and they're
everything
still
looks like
going.
every-
That's great.
Yeah, we didn't stop until you gave us a hard direction. So
Good. All right, thanks everybody, and sorry for all that.
So elevated. Just out of curiosity, you're not running. It's just a Phonis N.
Yeah, I think Elevated's going to have to drop to work on the technical side of things while
Cool. No
Phonis and
worries.
Mecha keep it going.
Oh, so we just switch it to a 2-screen instead of a 3-screen? What's he doing?
Yeah, just commentate based on Phonis and Mecha on their 2 streams, I'd say.
Yeah, it looks like they're just about neck and neck right now, fighting the 2 Lullabuds and the Choppin' Hood on the Luon Highway. The Choppin' Hood always drops a lot of experience and money.
Yeah, this is where we finally get to see some of that combat tech and exploits. So, big thing you're seeing from Phonis' side is the spin attacks. We equipped this basic technique right at the start of the run, spin and jump. And spin attack's one of the few multi-hit moves we actually have in the game. And so by kind of threading the needle and spacing yourself really, really well, you can get these good setups where you're spinning over and over again, damaging all the enemies. If you space yourself too close, though, you're going to start dizzying the enemies, and eventually that will stun yourself. So the runners really have to thread the needle to get these spins to work well. Now, the runners are entering into Mantis Ant, where you're going to see jump cancels and power cancels primarily. So jump cancels are the other ability we equipped at the start of the run, jump. So normally when you do a heavy attack, you get a good bit of ending lag, like 1.5, 2 seconds. But you see here, the runners are doing that heavy attack and then immediately going into an uppercut. That's called a jump cancel, and it's a little exploit we found to really help speed up combat and deal a lot more DPS.
Ooh, ST on Mantis Ant. That's hate to see that.
Yeah, unfortunate. And you try to avoid it, but sometimes it just happens. Yeah, that was the first main dungeon. Little tech skip here they can do is if they picked up enough money, then Nikolos tech here will be a good bit shorter, but sometimes you just don't get the drops you need.
Now we're going into Gato. This is one of the more boring quests because it's just running back and forth for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's very much just go to point A, go to point B, talk to this guy, talk to this guy. But have we touched on wiggle running yet? I don't think so. This might be a good point to bring that up.
So basically what wiggle running is when you're running, you want to slide your controller the direction you're running, but up and down the right direction. That way, instead of running straight, your character's kind of skipping across the ground, which what that does is makes you run faster in the long run.
Yeah, it's also referred to as diagonal running too, because you're trying to like switch between those diagonals of the direction you're going really, really quickly.
One thing to note, which I think is good in the remaster, is you don't have to hold circle to run anymore. It just does it for you.
Yeah, that was one of the nice things about the remasters. There was a lot of little quality of life additions that they put in, like auto run and the ability to turn counters on and off. Which is not a feature we use in this speed run. For the main speed runs, we require encounters to be on. That's just how the community seems to prefer to play. There are encounter off options for other categories, but for these ones, we mostly just stick to encounters on.
We also gotta hope that they got enough items to sell for weapon in the weapon shop here.
Yeah, that was something that you might have seen the runners doing during Nyx 1, is they were actually trying to pick up items as they went through. A lot of times you'll just kind of leave items to sit and despawn, but you got 2 weapon buys that you have to sell enough items to be able to afford. So coming up here to the first one, it's pretty cheap, only 200, but there are still some cases where you miss the items and you don't have the money and you have to start unequipping.
Yeah, but that RNG though, that RNG for item drops is the worst in the first part of the section. You kind of want items to drop at that point.
Yeah. Especially if you're going a hammer route or anything like that.
If you guys are unfamiliar, the original route didn't require item drops. It required getting an axe drop from a certain quest, but we actually, because of Lemur here and Monocle, they managed to bypass that completely.
Yeah, originally there was an additional quest we did to kind of start the game, and that was to give us access to a really, really good weapon early on, but we kind of found that sidetrack kind of took us a little bit too much time, and we found a way to get shops to just the right level to get the items we needed.
Sorry, trying to get Phonis' stuff looking better.
All good. But yeah, the little storyline that's been going on here in Flame of Hope is this Sproutling has something stuck under its leaves. It's called a Popo bug. And he's kind of running back and forth, bugging all the nuns for help. And some of them are trying, but he's
knocking them over, causing damage.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of being a bit of a ruckus.
That's a funny word. Ruckus.
Yeah, Flame of Hope, as far as story-wise, doesn't really pertain to the fairy story at all. It more has to do with the Jumi storyline.
Yeah, it's just one of the quests we do just to kind of get more artifacts put down for fairy.
Yeah, that's kind of the running theme with the early part of the fairy speed run, is you kind of have to go in, do a quest that isn't related to fairy in order to like unlock the area so it's usable for quests in the future or to get certain artifact drops. So
a side note is you'll notice that we're putting artifacts down in a certain position. That's because the closer artifacts are to home, the easier the areas are to do them in.
Yeah, so the closer it is to home, the lower level monsters tend to be. And it's kind of the opposite for shops. The farther away they are from home, the better your shops are going to be. So you're going to see us kind of doing these placements where we try to put dungeons close to home so that the monsters are low level, but putting towns and shops far away from home so we can get those weapon buys we're talking about.
Remember the minor tech here. You get control of yourself during the Rubens cutscene. Don't. Just keep mashing. It's trying to trick you into walking away. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's a little oddity I didn't know about for a good few years of running this game. That typically you're just mashing through the text here, so you don't realize that you actually regain control and can run away from Rubens, but the game blocks you from leaving this room and you have to talk to him eventually.
Why isn't Boyd playable? Boyd's amazing.
I'm not really sure what his skill set would be.
Arriving late.
His ears, yeah, if arriving late, steam out of the ears. His ultimate attack, he just fires steam the entire big steam cloud out of his ears and just blows enemies.
Sounds like a good opportunity for a Gaiden game.
Now you'll see here that Phonis is selling items trying to get enough money for a weapon.
Yep, and he was pretty close there.
Yeah, he just had enough.
So now he's switching over from the hammer to the sword, going to change up his equips a little bit. So probably should mention about the weapons in this game. You have heavier weapons that do more damage, and then faster weapons that tend to do a bit less damage. And what Phonis is doing is switching off from the heavy weapon that was doing a lot of damage to a weapon that'll give him a little bit more maneuverability. A lot of the fights we're going to find are kind of like spread out, and you want to be able to quickly move from enemy to enemy. Weapons also affect what you get level up wise. So the hammer gives you the best strength level ups. So instead of like a normal like strength intelligence system like you'd see in an RPG, your stat system is all based on what weapon you have when you level up. So we start with the hammer, get a little bit of a strength upgrade, and then switch off to the faster and more efficient sword.
Yeah, another thing about the weapons is that each one has their own set of ST special techniques. So sometimes you set up your techniques perfect, and then when you switch the weapon, you gotta reset them or learn new ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, special techniques is the other reason we picked the hammer to start. It comes with a blammo, a big explosion, wide range, works really well for that first stage.
Yeah, it's kind of like an expanded version of a spin.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't really need it past that. Oh, one thing to mention, mechalink did right there, is one of the few skips we do have in the game. By hugging that wall, he was able to slide past the moldy goo enemy, the kind of like big ball of hair you saw. It's one of the very few skips we have in the remaster.
You'll see that used once or twice in this run.
But now we see Phonis making some more artifact placements, and you kind of see the lands expanding a little bit here. So now he's placing down a few key areas, dungeons, so he's placing them a bit closer to home. But he's also making sure to place them next to other artifacts as well that will help lower the level of the monsters in that zone. So besides land levels, there's also these things called mana levels. And essentially, when you place an artifact next to another artifact, that artifact gains some of its mana levels. And each enemy has its own set of strengths and weaknesses. So you saw he placed the jungle there next to Gato, because Gato will give the jungle a little bit of salamander mana, and that helps out for some enemies that he'll fight later on.
It's also interesting to note that the mana levels change depending on what day it is, and the days change as you walk around the map as well. It's not too important unless you're in Jumi, for the Jumi run, but it does also affect the enemies.
So both the runners are now making their way into the ancient ruins. This is a place that people who played this game casually, especially as a kid, don't have the fondest memories of. It's a little bit confusing, and the gate puzzle system really throws you for a loop at first.
Not to mention those flowers that body block you, which kills your timer.
Oh yeah, as speedrunners, you hate those little flower dudes who are sitting in between the gates, but essentially you have to look at the puzzle, look at the flowers that spawn here, and they each correlate to a different door. And so you have to move them around to open up the correct path. And it's very confusing your first time through, but as speedrunners, we already know the solution. So we just throw that in real quick and make our way through.
Oh, so you guys are hearing a weird sound effect during combat. That's called the power cancel. Basically, what it is you mash your power hit, then hit a empty ST slot, which will basically reset your attack midway, so you can just keep spamming it over and over again. We call that power canceling. That and jump canceling are major things you do for attacking in this game.
Yeah, that's the other main exploit. You know, like we said with jump canceling, you use the jump to cancel the ending lag. With power canceling, you're using one of these shoulder buttons and creating this error sound, and that sound also will cancel the ending lag. So you'll kind of hear that thwack honk, thwack honk, thwack honk. That means
there's a rhythm to it too, and it's really hard to actually get that down sometimes because you're so into the fight you just mispress and that whole combo is messed up.
Yeah, you find that with a lot of the tech in this game is that it looks pretty simple on the screen, but actually performing it consistently every time is much harder than it seems, especially with things like wiggle running here, the constant movement of the stick back and forth and doing it, doing it consistently without running into the walls constantly is like a pretty big challenge when you're first starting to run the game.
You notice Phonis just entered the pyramid. Basically what he did was he got to go to different gates and get a certain flower link to do a telepathic link to a flower link to open the gate up. That's basically the whole premise of this quest.
Yep, you can see mechalink right now is getting the telekinesis activated. Oh, but now Phonis fighting the mummy ape. We are looking for a drop there, and he got it.
Oh, he got the glove.
He got the spiral claw. So this is a little thing that can happen here. The spiral claw is a faster weapon than our sword, and it also has a touch more power when it gets dropped from that monkey. So if it drops, we throw it on real quick and we use it to speed up this boss fight.
This boss's name is Davila. He's a bit of an annoyance if you don't know how to fight him. The best bet is always to corner lock him in place so he can't do anything to you.
Yeah, Davila is one of the humanoid enemies in the game, and their hitboxes tend to be a bit more finicky. But if you can get an attack string going and lock her down, it works really, really well. And you kind of see Phonis is starting to get that right there.
Yep, get that corner lock with the gloves. Yep. Also keep in mind that each weapon has their own time frame for power canceling. So don't go into it thinking, just because the sword's fast, that the two-hand sword's gonna be just as fast. It's all their own set of like speed and timing for power canceling.
Yeah, there's a slightly different rhythm you need for each weapon, or for the 3 classes of weapons, I'd say. The fastest, the medium speeds, and then the slower weapons.
Glove being one of the fastest for power canceling.
Yeah, and jump
I got a drop.
Too.
It was just the wrong one.
I got the rotten meat drop. Yeah, that's one of the ways that the game likes to troll you with some of the drops you can get is typically enemies will have multiple drops, and so you'll see the bag thinking you got the weapon, but it actually ends up just being some random produce or item or something like that. They had a pretty solid fight from Phonis. Had a little trouble at the start, but managed to get the lockdown. Now Mechalink's going to take on Dabula. Gonna see the fight with the sword this time instead of the glove. Dabula is using magic. One of the unfortunate things about the remaster is there's a little bit more lag than in the PSX version when it comes to certain combats, and the big thing that causes lag is magic, which Dabula likes to get a little spam on sometimes.
And if you notice, the sword's taking a bit longer to kill Dabula than the glove was.
Yeah, you can even kind of see the power canceling is a little bit slower with the sword. Yeah, the glove's nice if you can get it, because it does speed this fight up, but we only use it for this fight, so...
Mecha's health got to a dangerous point.
Oh, yeah. There he goes.
Really solid fight, but that made me nervous.
It's at the 11th hour.
Yeah, with how fast we speed through the game, we actually end up staying pretty low level, and we never buy any armor, so if you lose a stun lock or something like that and a boss starts getting hits in on you, you can actually get knocked down pretty quickly.
The only saving grace is if you die to a boss fight, it starts you outside the room the boss fight happened in, so you don't have to go back too far. Because I've had instances where I've died in the run. I'm in the middle of a boss, and I thought the run was over, but it just spawns you right outside the boss room. So you have a chance to recover again.
Yeah, the game is pretty forgiving if you do die. It just does become big time loss for us speedrunners.
But if it's your first time running the game, though, don't worry about too much about it. That's why it's called practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, the jungle. This place was rather annoying on my first time through it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the spots that confuses a lot of people just because of the layout. But we kind of didn't mention it, but Phonis did actually go into the Pulpulta Harbor and do another weapon buy there, where he got an upgraded version of the sword. So you can kind of see Mecha is doing the placements for that right now, and how he's dumping artifacts before placing down his last one. This is because we're trying to up the level of the harbor and up the level of the shop here. So, we said distance from home affects the level, but also the number of artifacts placed affects the level. And so by dumping our entire board and placing it as far away from home as possible, we can get a tier 4 weapon shop. And this is going to add, I think, about 10 power to our sword.
And this is probably the only time you do a shop besides, what was the town called? I forgot. Lumina. Lumina is the last time you get to a shop and buy anything.
Yeah. So we're actually going to be using this weapon for pretty much the entirety of the run until the very end.
And she just bought the Lauren sword, which is the best one you can get for now.
There can be a couple of route differences here if you want to choose to go with the hammer instead. I do think the sword is the fastest weapon, but there are some nice things you can do with a hammer route.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the money for the hammer, otherwise that's what I was going to do.
I saw you doing a few extra cells and thought you might go for it, but...
Yeah, I was prepared to sell the armor, but I only got 650, not 750.
Yeah.
That's not to say I disagree. The sword's probably faster in general, but if you get lucky, the hammer might actually be faster. Like, everybody behaves, maybe.
Yeah, the hammer's nice. There's just a couple of bosses in particular.
Yeah, say that to Spriggan.
Yeah, a couple of bosses in particular that can really go awry if you don't have the quick sword attacks, I think.
So basically what this quest is you basically have to go to the forest, convince those two to work together, Hamson and, I forgot his name. Skippy. Get them to work together, and then you basically go forward and fight the boss.
Yeah, so this is another instance of us doing a quest that doesn't really have anything to do with the fairy storyline in order to unlock this area for future quests.
There's only like maybe 4 or 5 key quests for fairy in general that you have to do. Most of it's just unlocking artifacts and doing other quests to get other artifacts unlocked.
Yeah, so that's probably a good thing to talk about is unlocking a land or an artifact. When you place down a land, it has a quest in it that's typically loaded that locks the land, and until you have completed that quest, you can't do any other quests there, and you also can't place other artifacts next to that land. And so that's what we're doing here with the jungle. By completing this quest, we'll unlock it. It's what we had to do in Gaeta with Flame of Hope. So Run has kind of this cleanup phase that we have to do to get it started.
There's 2 more things that I'd like to mention. The Hanson sprite, if you've played the original, you can see that they've sort of changed him. They've given him a beard in this version. And the second thing is about the artifacts, that the amount that you have in your inventory actually affect how many you get for certain quests. Sometimes you get 2 artifacts in a quest if you have very low artifacts in your inventory. So a good idea to place them down when you can if you want to get like the maximum number of artifacts.
Yeah, that is a good point in that to trigger the end of the game, we need to make sure we hit a certain number of artifacts on the
That was a perfect fate from Duque from Phonis over there.
Oh yeah, that's excellent. Hit every single cancel.
What I want to mention is for Duque, it's good to have a weapon that's really fast. You can stun lock it. The slower weapons, you can break out of it and use an ST and just kind of like mess your run up. So having a sword or an axe that's one-handed for Duque is probably the best you can have.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful fight, and yeah, like you said, shows off why we use the quicker weapons like the sword. You can't get stun locks like that on Duque with the hammer. Well, you can, but it doesn't work the same.
It's easier with hammer and two-handed axe. Easier with jump canceling on Duque, but not as frequent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty solid Duque from Phonis. Mechalink's one of the most annoying fights in the game.
Oh, the zombies and Tomato Man, yeah, they're rather annoying. Zombies can stun lock you in place, and Tomato Man can just jump on your head and just cause you not do any damage for a bit.
Handled that really well, actually. Didn't get stun locked or didn't get ridden by the Tomato Man.
Now Phonis is probably going to go after like one of the easiest bosses in this run, if not the easiest.
Yep, headed right back into the jungle. Like we were saying, you gotta unlock the land to do other quests in it, so we unlock the jungle, head immediately back in. Makes pretty quick work of those zombies.
Let's see how like for Duque for Mecha goes now. Very solid fight.
Nice fight. So changed it up a little bit compared to Phonis. Did a spin and then a couple of uppercuts just to avoid any chance of getting hit at the start of the fight. Sometimes he likes to start the fight by kicking you away, but Mecha played to avoid that and then just landed the power cancel train.
Yeah, you noticed that they both learned Counter Strike, which is one of the skills we need for endgame.
Yeah, Counter Strike is one of the key skills that we use in the endgame, the speedrun, and probably the most powerful skill in the game, I'd say. It gives you a ×8 multiplier on your damage. So
basically what it does is if you use it and enemy attacks you, you attack back, and it does a lot of damage to their health.
And there's certain bosses that you'll see later on that works really, really well on. We got one more fight here from Phonis, and then we're going into the boss of the Murmuring Forest. So good to see.
Punk Master, probably one of the easiest bosses possible.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Same strategy as Decay, you just keep spamming power cancels over and over again.
I don't even think Punk Master has any STs, to my knowledge.
He doesn't have any STs, but he does have that knockaway ability that will stun you. So that does lose a good little bit of time if you get hit by it, but Phonis deals with that pretty well, gets a perfect fight. And now we can finally start getting into the Faerie storyline quests here. So technically, Murmuring Forest was the first quest of the Faerie storyline, but it didn't really get too much into what was going on in the world.
It just introduces the first character you run into the storyline, which is Escad.
Yeah, and you're going to see that now on Mecha's screen. You kind of see the little introduction to the fairies and beating up the nun and Escad coming in. But it's not really until here in Two Torches that you get more of the backstory. But more interesting than the backstory, I think, is the boss of the Two Torches, who you'll see pretty soon here. He is one of the two big run killers for this category, I'd say.
Yeah. It's possible to get a no ST on this boss, but that's rare.
Yeah, and he has other things besides his STs too that can mess you up, and he just loves to eat up time, you know? Casually doesn't matter too much because you can just keep restarting the boss if he ends up killing you, but as for a speedrunner, he's really a big pain. Yeah, kind of seeing here on Phonis screen the first introduction to the key characters of Faerie. You see Asuka, Dana, and the Matilda lying on the bed, and all of them kind of arguing over someone named Erwin. And Asuka not really being a big fan of him, saying that he's gonna hurt Matilda, and Matilda, you know, trying to get him to forgive Erwin. This is kind of setting up that there's this war coming with the fairies and that they are trying to capture Matilda right now. So we see Matilda kind of get zipped out of the room, and now we're going to go find her and get into that boss fight.
Not a bad fight from Mecha and Punk Master over there.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Is he minor attack stunnable, Punk Master? Because I did try some fast attack chains and he didn't take a stun.
I believe he is. I guess I've never experimented with that.
Just curious.
Got 1 ST so far on Spriggan.
Yeah. Summon the little skeleton dude.
2 ST. That's common for Spriggan already.
Does he get the counter here? Oh, nice. Landed the cutting bamboo, which does a stun on the Spriggan. And he just has to keep dealing out that damage.
Good fight, 2 ST. That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad. It's
nice
really
counter to bamboo too. That was a good. You always have that one thing we tried him ST, he just teleports away. He just ruins the whole thing. Like he got lucky with that one.
The big thing is doing counter STs. So when the boss does an ST, timing your ST to hit the boss as soon as he comes out of his invincibility frames. If you get really good at that timing, you reduce the chance of the boss doing anything else, and that's what you kind of saw when Phonis hit that cutting bamboo. He timed it pretty dang close to perfect.
As we're going into the mines, this is one of the places you have to go to Faerie later, but to unlock it first. As Lee mentioned earlier.
Yep. So, gonna make a quick artifact placement. This is to drop down the levels, the mana levels of the mines to make the monsters and boss here a good bit easier for us to deal with. And then, gonna come in, clear out a quick quest here, and then gonna continue down the Faerie storyline.
One thing you should know that if you don't go with Dana to the sealed room, it's kind of hard to find it by yourself. So I suggest taking the shortcut.
Yeah, it's happened to a couple of people that the finger slips or they're just not paying attention and they select a different option, and then Dana just kind of runs off and you got to find the sealed room on your own. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I even know where it is on that map.
I think I found it twice casually by myself, but it took a lot of rooms.
Alright, now we see Mecha going into his Spriggan fight. Getting some help from Dana, which is nice.
1 teleport's not bad. 2 teleport.
Yeah.
3.
Just getting help from Dana, which does help a lot. Oh, there's the
1
first
ST.
ST.
That's not bad. But the 3 teleports is normal, so that's totally Spriggan right there. Oh, use Maelstrom to counter the ST. It's not bad. 4 teleports.
Yeah, this is the Spriggan troll. He loves to just do this evade over and over and over again.
That's a pretty average Spriggan fight.
Not bad, yeah.
That's pretty normal for Spriggan.
Only 1 ST, but 5, 6 teleports there.
1 ST, 6 evade. I'll take it.
The teleports is the worst part. But they were easy teleports, though. They were like just a foot away. When he goes across the screen, though, that's the worst of it.
Yeah.
Now, Fawn is fighting a boss called Laban. Basically, how this boss fight works is you have to basically knock both flowers off the vines and kill them both to do damage to the boss's health.
Yeah, so each flower will deal a set chunk to the main boss health once you kill it, and that's why we placed the Stone Eye right next to the mines here, because it drops the level just enough that we can skip one of those chunks and have to kill one less hand. But you'll kind of see the strategy here is you want to try to kill that red hand as fast as possible and try to get him down before he STs. Once he does ST, it's a suicide bomb essentially, and
it hurts if you hit by it.
It does a lot of damage, and it does kill him afterwards, but it takes a good bit longer than if you were to just kill him yourself. So you see there, Phonis got the little combo, got the kill on him. And then just the blue hand's pretty easy. Can reverse your directions, but as long as you hit him quick enough, you can avoid that.
Not a bad. The bad fight's pretty good.
I don't know. I think, what was it, 1 ST on the red hand?
Yeah, just one. Let's do a bomb attack. The rest was pretty easy. The thing with that hand is it's random when he wants to do it. Sometimes he'll do it really fast and so wait a minute. Or it could be instantly, so it's just kind of a luck of the draw at that one.
Yeah, you just try to do the fastest combo you can to kill it, and if he goes for the ST, then run over and try to kill the blue hand. And avoid getting hit by the ST, because 1 shouldn't kill you, but 2 probably will. Alright, that's going to finish up the mines for Phonis. Now he's going to... Yep, for now. He's going to make his way over into Kilma, do one of the longer quests of this category until the end.
Only because the text boxes in between.
Yeah.
The boss itself is not too difficult, although it is annoying. Oh, that's magic attack on the
yeah, that little troll that can happen on that fight when you're dealing with the hop and ticks. Sometimes the Spectre Clown, I forget its name exactly, will do magic, and if he gets it off, he's invulnerable, and there's not much you can do but wait. Or you can get hit by it and get turned into a snowman, which is not fun and loses even more time. Yeah, Phonis is now making his way through Kilma. This is kind of when I think of getting out of the early game of the run. I feel like you start entering areas that have a little bit higher levels, and the monsters tend to take a few more hits. So it's when the game really starts pushing you for more consistency once you hit this stage, I think.
You know, playing this game casually, I was doing speedrunner stress the entire time, so I can't play it casually anymore. It's just not possible.
Oh yeah, like even if I'm just messing around testing stuff, I still find myself wiggle running. Like it's just force of habit now.
Yeah, it's, you do it for so long, it's just stuck in your mind. Autopilot.
I don't know, not wiggle running just seems slow and feels wrong now.
So far there was one ST on Mecha side.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate, they got at the same time.
Yeah, it's typically that first drop where they like to get off that first ST, because they're invulnerable and the blue hand can hit you away, kind of like he did right there.
Nice recovery, though.
Yeah, that worked well.
So I initially did a spin to knock them both down on purpose, and then ignored the red one while I killed the blue one. Like, that's my initial strat for Laban, rather than try and do the standard 1-1. And then once it's in that phase you saw it, I was able to do back and forth like normal. Right, so...
Alright.
So spin to drop them both.
Pretty decent fight, though.
Yeah. Spin them to drop them both, take out the blue one, the red one will explode and basically die right when the blue one does, and then back and forth like normal.
You know, I still can't do the spin attack without getting stunned myself.
Yeah, you really got to get that spacing down pat, especially if you're doing it in the triple groups of enemies.
Yeah. This one, though, it's not even a spin attack, it's just the actual spin, right? Like, it's exactly in position for a non-attacking spin to drop them both, if the right one doesn't magic up at first.
Oh, okay. I've always done the spin attack. I thought it was the damage, not the dizzy, but okay. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to do this the spin attack without like getting stunned myself.
I see Phonis taking on Grey Ox. Makes pretty quick work of it. That's another one of the enemies in the game that can give you a little bit of issues. If he gets his hit off, then he's going to probably push you around a little bit. Doesn't lose that much time if it happens. It's just really annoying.
I love the way he falls off the cliff, though. There's no reason for that.
Just flips over and falls down.
Yeah, see, what Mecha just did, that happens to me all the time when you spin attack. I'll get stunned midway through my attack.
It's really easy to miss too if you have a group of 3 enemies and you're only, you're hitting the other 2 fine, but you're getting dizzied on 1, then it's easy to just not notice it and eat that stun. And once you start doing the spin spam, like trying to reposition out of it can be a little bit difficult too. It's a weird kind of pause timing you have to do to step away and then immediately start the spin again. But Phonis is now going to go into the Gorgon Eye boss fight, so this one has a little bit different strategy than you typically see from the other bosses. Here he's going to be doing normal attacks and trying to keep him stun locked by doing a double tap or a single tap. And as he does this over and over again, you're going to see that little blue aura come out. That shows that he's starting to build up his combo. And if you get enough combo hits on the eye, it'll stun itself. And then from there, you can hit him with more powerful attacks. So now you get the power cancels from Phonis. He's going to go back to the normal swings as the eye comes
Good
out.
fight.
Yeah, nice fight.
Yeah.
That fight can really get away from you if you mess up the stun chain, because not only does he teleport like Spriggan, but he just teleports off the screen for like a solid 4 or 5 seconds, and then he normally STs after doing that.
Is Phonis just 2-tapping and canceling?
Oh yeah, he's just doing double tap normal attacks. So like just hitting the X button twice, and it's actually a pretty tight rhythm to get it down, because if you do 3 or 4, then you're gonna like do the full combo and you stun or you go into lag for a little bit. But if you time it just right, you can just repeatedly do the double tap strikes.
This is a strat that's also used on Duvula as well. Same sort of deal. Especially with sword.
Yeah, it's a good way to keep Davula locked down too. Or any enemy, really. But now we see Phonis making his way back through Gato. Just a little detour here. He's going to kind of go in, get a quest to trigger for the Faerie storyline, and then do another little side quest here with Niflo to get an artifact.
One of the faster quests in the game, too. You just grab and go to the waterfall and just wait there for 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think Nick's Business 2 from start to finish is the fastest quest in the game. I mean, what's it take, like minute and a half, something like that?
Wee Birdie competes if you initiate and then complete it in one screen.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If you have all the items already, then that just ends pretty much instantly.
For a bit, yeah, it's she gives you the whole spiel twice, but yeah, it's pretty fast. She does the whole like delayed, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8
Right.
both times, right? But still pretty fast. Not that you'll ever see that in a real category.
Yeah, so after you zone and come back, just wait by that log for like 15 seconds, and the fairy will spawn in.
Yeah,
I believe 15 seconds.
I'm not sure the exact time on it, probably 15 or 20. The way I time it is by looking at the bottom left Nicolo. When that sprite appears 5 times, then the fairy will spawn right after.
I do the same thing, but with sound cycles. So it's 5 sound cycles, because he makes a sound cycle each time he goes around the loop as well.
Okay. Now Phonis is making his way back into Kilma. He did the Gorgonite quest to clear out this area. Then he went and talked to Matilda, and Matilda asked him to go search for Dana, the cat girl we saw earlier and who helped us fight Spriggan. So we're doing that to kind of continue the fairy storyline and help out Matilda.
And this is probably this is the other one killer boss that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boss here and Spriggan are the 2 run killers for anybody that runs this game.
Might be going into the Gorgonite. Oh, that was like an instant teleport.
Oh, the second teleport. That's bad.
Yeah, so you can see, like, on that second teleport, Mecha, like, barely messed up that string. Like, wasn't even like he went into full lag, he just missed one of the hits and boss got off the second teleport. Nice cutting bamboo.
Yeah, he got him stunned.
Oh, another teleport. That's unfortunate. Not a bad fight. That teleport, though, is unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a good cutting bamboo, though, and then after that, got a pretty good string of normal attacks to get the stun.
This definitely could have been worse teleports. They could have been teleports into the right side, kind of wide AoEs, right? That's the one that really sucks.
Bonus taking on the Grey Ox again. Yeah, nice one.
Item drop too, so it's fashion EXP drops.
That's probably a good thing to mention we haven't talked about yet. So we talk about how it's like optimizing combat to kill the enemies, but a big part of optimizing combat is optimizing the item pickup or XP pickup afterwards. And you see items are pretty easy because they just a little bag spawns where the enemy died. But XP, when it spawns, tends to spread out and jump around a bunch, and also will stay on screen a little bit longer than items will. So sometimes you get these positions where the runner has to make a decision of, do I go back and pick up the thing that's dropping, or do I just move to the side of the screen and wait for it to despawn?
And then there's times where it'll drop behind a rock and you can't see it.
Yeah, there's some foreground objects that can really get in the way.
Ooh, 3 item drops. That's actually...
Yeah.
Not to mention, items despawn in like maybe 2-3 seconds tops.
Well, I'm just gonna mention this here, even though it's not part of this run, but the fight in Dragon, when you fight Sierra in the Bone Fortress, she drops a key that you need, and if that drops behind one of the pillars and you don't see it, that won't despawn, but you need it to continue. It's like the only spot where if you don't see it, you kind of get stuck there.
Yeah, that's probably one of the more notorious ones, especially if you're playing casually, because you have no idea a key dropped there.
Yeah.
There's like a gem noise when it appears, but that's it. Like, that's super subtle. You're kind of destroyed if it appears behind the pillar there.
All right, Phonis is entering the Boreal Hound boss fight. So you said
the run killer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Phonis is getting a lot of golds, a lot of glods.
Ooh. One of the cooler bosses in the game, but one of the more annoying ones.
Looks like he's got him stuck in the corner.
Stream went down for me right as the fight started. No. Oh, does he have the blind spot? He's been practicing that a lot. I think that was 0 ST.
I think that was 0 ST, yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Wow,
that was a
good
great
fight.
Yeah.
So Boreal Hound's stun spot's really hard to find. It's really finicky. You have to like pinpoint that properly.
I was curious if Phonis was going to hit it. I know he's been practicing it a lot, and he's gotten kind of consistent at it. I didn't want to jinx him, though, so I held off saying it, but...
Yeah, it's his back leg and his top of his head. Or his 2 stun spots. But the back leg's easier to get to, because the top of his head is really finicky.
Mecha's running is looking pretty nice.
Yeah, Mecha's re-entered into Lake Kilma.
If that's not a gold split from Boreal Hound, I'm flipping my table on the table.
I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, Phonis has really been practicing that split, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got a pretty crazy gold during his practice.
He said if it's not gold, I'm gonna put the table on the table. There better be a goal for that.
Yep, it was a glod.
Nice.
Oh yeah, 2 minutes too. That's really good.
They saved almost a full minute on that split.
Yeah, he was 6 seconds off from a minute. Or 4 seconds off from a minute, actually, yeah. So, he saved like 56 seconds, which is still like an eternity in speedrunning. So, quick thing. The Dream Teller quest you don't actually complete. You do this one cutscene, leave, and then you leave the mines, and it just counts the quest as being failed. But you have to come here and see this one cutscene with this guy for it to count for fairy, then you don't be there anymore.
Yeah, nice little thing here is that we can actually just fail out of this quest, and it still lets us continue the fairy storyline.
Yeah, you see the initial scene from the Scott, and you can just leave, and then that's it. Most runners don't put the split in their timer because there's really no point. You don't actually complete the quest, you kind of just leave. That's the only quest you actually fail in the run and still complete the run.
Yeah, it's like a little 50, 60 second quest when you fail it, so a lot of people just kind of leave it out of the times, but I don't know. I like seeing the random gold sometimes, so I keep it in.
You were talking about the ox doing his thing. He definitely flipped me a couple times.
Oh, did he give you the work?
Yeah, he worked me over a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. I was pretty unfortunate.
This battle is
So you
awful.
notice your Phonis got teleported. He's gonna end up back in the ruins now.
Yeah, starting on the Star-Crossed Lovers quest.
He's gonna end up right where Davila was originally. He has escaped the ruins and make his way to that pyramid where they're at.
Yep, this quest is the reason we had to do Tea Time of Danger to get the ruins unlocked, so we could continue with this quest instead.
Well, I'm also gonna say this: Erwin did nothing wrong. He's innocent. Leave him alone.
That's debatable. Maybe you can say he's done nothing wrong yet.
Every time I do a speedrun of this game, I put the hashtag Erwin did nothing wrong just because.
I mean, we skipped the quest where you might find out what he did in the first place, so...
Yeah.
As per evidence on screen, did nothing wrong.
So if you guys are running the fair, you won't see the full story, but basically what he did was he tricked Matilda into giving him her power, which ended up aging her dramatically.
Alright, we got Mecha doing the Boreal Hound fight.
Unreal.
Oh, wow.
0 XP.
Holy shit.
And all those mess ups too. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Double runners with the 0 ST Boreal Hound.
I'm honestly not sure how I got through that. Like, I thought I had some good positioning to some points, but then he just kept backing away and was just like, oh god. Like, when's it gonna come down on me?
I thought when he jumped to the right side, he was probably going to get something off. But...
Oh, one thing I want to mention here though on Phonis' screen, you basically have a choice to side with Dana or Scott. You want to choose Scott because Dana gives you a longer text box on multiple quests, and it takes longer. So it's just killing her is the easier option and a lot faster.
Yeah, both runners with a 0 ST Boreal Hound. That is very, very rare to see, you know. One runner getting that in a race is already kind of rare, but for both of them to just buff it off, that's awesome.
You know, I'm pretty happy.
I even in the OG game, I barely got 0 ST Boreal Hounds. The game's being kind today, which means something bad's gonna happen later.
My Erwin stuns are weak, so
Erwin's so free.
He really is. Although I think Puexel took an ST series at RPG Limit Break, right, Lemur? Just one?
Oh,
not
yeah,
sorry,
I took it. Yeah, I took it.
Yeah, you took one. Just one. But yeah.
You got an ST from Erwin?
Yeah, he did the double jump in on me, and I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was
I
rough.
recovered pretty well after that, but he got a few off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, though.
Yeah.
Because his STs are so long, too, so they just waste so much time. So basically, Phonis wants to come back in here and get the brooch, which is the last level 4 of the fairy storyline, but we have a few more things to do first before we can do that.
Yeah, this is when we enter what I refer to as like the cleanup section of the run. So we're going to go ahead and place the final area, but we're not going to do it just yet. Because even if we complete Fairy Storyline right now, we still haven't met the artifact requirement to trigger the end of the game.
I believe you need 18 artifacts on the screen to do it, right?
Yeah, 18 artifacts.
Yeah, 18 artifacts placed down to unlock the mana tree.
So the fairy storyline, this final area, Leucemia, is actually a pretty tough gauntlet that we have to go through. So we decide we're going to place it, hold off, let ourselves get a little bit stronger, get a better weapon, and then deal with it right at the end of the game.
Leukemia is close to home, so it's not that difficult.
Right. But just padding our stats as much as we can before going in.
You'll see Phonis here is placing more artifacts down just to get them out of the way, unlock more stuff.
Yeah, and this he is doing a certain order in how he places them to get mana levels in both Leucemia and the junkyard. But yeah, the main thing is clearing his board down so he can get more artifacts from this quest. Detecting Zone kind of mentioned it, that if you have too many artifacts on your board, then the game will sometimes only give you one artifact instead of two. So there's like the primary artifact from a quest, which you'll always get, and then a secondary artifact, which the game will only give you if you have, one or two artifacts. So Phonis cleared the board out, and now he's going to make sure he gets both artifacts from this quest.
So a little fun fact for you guys, the path for Junkyard is always the same. It's up, down, up, right, left, right. It's never going to change. That's the path it's always going to be.
Typically just try not to think when I get into Junkyard. I'm just like, okay, muscle memory, just get me through real quick.
Yeah, it's always up, down, up, right, left, right for the path. That's going to be that till the day we die.
Nice little spin setup on that fight there from Phonis. That is one that can get a little bit messy if those Lizardons start tugging you up and eating you.
Mm-hmm.
Up, down, left, right, left, BA, start. No, this isn't Konami. Look, you imagine that code word did something, though? It just skips right to the final boss.
You usually go up or left on the Lizardon fight, right?
Up or left on the Lizard? To start the fight.
You'll know you're going the right way if you fight that one single slime enemy on the Junkyard.
But for fight position, I move up to the left of the Lizardons and try to just get the Dizzy set up that way. Maelstrom in a quick spin deals with that fight for Phonis. Probably one of the faster end quest fights in the game. Usually spend more time picking up the XP they drop than actually fighting the enemies.
Now comes the section of the game where we buy the final weapon we're going to use for the run.
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit with Popolta, but we kind of had to drop a bunch of artifacts and build the map out to get Popolta to the correct level. Now we're going to do that again for Lumina here and get gold weapons. Oh, one thing to point out on Mecha's side of things, actually, we talked about Counter-Strike, and that's the strat he's using here for the Dana fight.
That's the best way to fight Dana, is Counter-Strike.
Just puts out the counter, Dana has a quick weapon, she tends to hit you, and you smack Dana back for times 6 damage.
And by the way, yeah, she is dead. You do kill her. She's gone.
Yeah, most of the humanoid enemies are very vulnerable to that. The larger enemies can often have weird hit angles or spins, or some of their attacks don't trigger it, whereas the human enemies are very, very counter-strikeable.
Yeah, and you can kind of manipulate the human enemies a little bit too, because if you're standing directly in front of them, they're more than likely going to attack you. And it's the same way for the bigger enemies as well, but like Becca was saying, because of like their hitboxes and just how big their sprites are, sometimes you can look like you're standing in front of them, but the game doesn't actually register you as being in front of them. It kind of registers you as being to the side or something like that. So
another side note, every speedrunner that's done Fairies Light, this language is imprinted in the back of their brain.
You have the dub bear language. Dub.
It's imprinted into your brain like it's second nature to you because we've done it so many times.
Yeah, Faerie's Light, I believe, is the only quest that is done in every single category of the game. I think Infernal Doll is done in everything but Dragon Percent, and then this is done in every single category of the game. So no matter what you're doing when running the game, you're going to learn this language.
I'm going to give you guys the cheat code to doing the Dud Bear language. The first bear, it's 1113, then it's 2113, and the final bear is 2213. That's the order it's always going to be.
If the first bear is the one in the lower left, then yes.
Yeah,
the one on top is 211.
Yeah.
The one below is 111.
Yeah, I got the bottom was the first bear, though.
Yeah. If the bottom's the first bear, then yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I count the bottom was the first bear because I usually get the items first, then talk to him, then go up top and talk to the other one. So the bear at the bottom, it's 1113. The bear up top is 2113, and the third bear on the right side of the screen is 2213. That's the option it's always going to be when you do the Dud Bear language.
So Phonis just bought the golden sword and equipped it. That's from Lumina. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but one cool thing about the quest is you could use the money you get from the Dud Bears. You don't have to give it to the Centaur. Is he a Centaur? Yeah.
Yeah, Gilbert the Centaur.
Also, side note, if you mess up talking to one of the bears, if you re-talk to the man who taught you the language, the bear will reset himself.
Alternately, completing another bear will reset the bears as well.
Yeah.
And I believe you can also talk to a bear you've already completed and go back to the bear you failed and redo the bear that way as well.
You can also sell the same land to the same bear 3 times. It'll still count for you too. So
it'll count, but it won't actually give you the money. At least in the remaster. I've done that before where you do the resell, but it doesn't actually give you the money. So like you can sell like 3 lamps to one bear, and then you have to go and resell lamps to another bear.
It's just a little fun fact they added into the game.
Yeah, we've done a good bit of testing on this quest because in the longer categories, we use the Gilbert money to buy a lot of items, as Detecting Zone was pointing out. And so we were trying to find any way we could to get a little bit more money out of it if we could. Any kind of infinite money glitch would have been great, but nope, we get capped at the 3,000.
Yeah, for the longer quests where you have to temper, getting those items to temper is like one of the biggest hassles for all events, and I think all stories uses tempering too.
And if you return to Gilbert with less money than he gave you, it actually gives him a shorter text box, so it saves you like a second or two, but nothing too extravagant.
Yeah, shorter text box, and also the dings. There's only 1 ding, whereas if you keep all the money and give it to him, then there's 3 dings. So if you have to make a weapon buy, you might as well do it here, because it will save you time in the long run. Very minor amount of time, but still time save.
So Phonis got the sword or the hammer?
So actually, that's an interesting thing about this shop. Oh, that was actually a nice Zardon fight from mechalink. But that was one thing about this shop, is you actually get both the sword and the hammer. Because we still want... Yeah, because we want the movement speed from the sword, but later we're going to want the counter-strike damage from the hammer.
Yeah, I just didn't see if you bought them both. I wasn't paying attention on that part.
I'm pretty sure he did. That's what we normally do here.
Yeah, I got that memorized, Dunmer, just because I've run this so many times in OG, it's stuck in my brain. It gave me nightmares for 2 weeks.
Alright, so Phonis has entered Leucemia.
Which, by the way, has probably one of the best soundtracks in the game.
Yeah. This and Irwin's theme, I think, are 2 of my favorites.
Yeah, they're 2 of the best ones.
Leucemia actually is one of the places that does have a little bit of a skip where you could pass by the person blocking your path if you wiggle by him the right way.
Mm-hmm. So
the only person that's pulled that off was Lemur so far.
Lemur, yeah, he does it pretty consistently too.
Because he cheats.
He'll clip him on the corner.
He's got those bionic fingers, man. You can't compete with that.
He hacked the code of the game. He sees the Matrix.
Well, Phonis actually has been working on that as well, so I'm interested to see him give it a go.
I still can't
here.
pull it off. I've tried. It's just I can't get that wiggle. Like it's like really hard.
Yeah, we need to do some test runs, so it's always the same. It's always perfect.
I might just do a save state there on the actual remaster and just see if I can do it myself.
On the second Selva, the second time you have to get through Selva, there is a pretty consistent setup. Because if you hold upright, it'll move you into the corner. But on the first one, you kind of got to eyeball it and line up yourself.
Yeah, a lot of us can get the second one, but the first one is definitely... Even Lemur misses it sometimes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you give it a go, you try for a second, and if you don't get it, you just talk to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through myself and save right in that room, just see if I can pull it off one day.
All right, here's Selva 1. Oh, you got it. Took him a little bit, but he got it.
Oh, good job.
Nice.
I wasn't sure. I thought he was a bit too far to the left there, but I think he managed just to wiggle to the right just a touch.
You have to be right in front of him, right, to wiggle through him? That one, on the first one?
I find a lineup. There's this lineup with, like, the gap in your hat and his right foot that I go for. I can't really explain it without showing it, but he went a little bit further to the left, but... There's probably a couple spots you can do it there.
Yeah, but GG, I'm almost getting that done. I'm impressed.
Yeah. There's also battleship here, right? Or is that not used?
That's where it used to be.
Ah.
We don't get it anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
Battle skip? Yeah. So in the original PSX version, there was 2 battle triggers that overlapped there. And we could use that to actually skip that second battle on that screen. But in the remaster, they fixed the battle triggers because a lot of them overlap now, and
they also fixed the soft lock too, from what I understand as well. Because there was a soft lock. If you went too far to the left in one of the battles, the other battle wouldn't initiate, and you were stuck there.
Yeah, it's the same bug. It's just that we can, if we did it just right, we could get that soft lock to instead be a battle skip. So yeah both are addressed by it.
Mecha talking to the first up there. He's gonna go into the shop now. He's gonna buy the sword and the hammer.
Phonis is gonna go for Selva 2 here.
Oh, right by him.
Yep. Yeah, that setup's pretty consistent if you just hold upright. I think Lucemia is always one of the funnest stages to watch and go through, because it forces you to kind of use all of the battle tech that you have at your disposal in the game.
It's unfortunate you can't go back to it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. But I mean, there's spin setups on fights, there's fights you power cancel, fight you jump cancel, fights that you want to do plunge attacks on. Like, you really need to have all your bags of tricks ready to get through the stage.
And this is one of the places you actually level up the most in if they drop EXP enough, because they drop a lot of EXP crystals here. They're worth a lot.
Yeah, and there's just so many fights too. I mean, well, I'm guessing over 20 in this.
At least.
Stage.
Had to fix my hour digit.
Yeah, it was a bit off screen. I didn't want to say anything because I
yeah, it looks good now.
Play, but that's actually a good cutscene to do it in.
Yeah, it's a long one.
No, the longest one's coming up here in a little bit.
Ooh, the chimeras. This is one of the few spots you fight chimeras in the game.
Yeah,
You're in
definitely
like
one
once
of
in the underworld, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get the Chimera Lord boss.
I forgot about him.
And Diddle kidnapped.
All
All
right. See
right.
if Phonis can get a perfect Irwin.
This is Irwin. He is the last boss of the fairy story.
He's going with hammer.
Yep, that's something you can do here as well. It's just about what weapon you're more comfortable with doing the cancels. All right, looks like he got it.
Yep, perfect Irwin.
So we were talking about blind spots on a Boreal Hound. Irwin has one too. If he jumps into you like that, you can just keep wailing away at him, and there you go, perfect Irwin.
His arm in the front of his body is always his stun spot. So if he's on the right side of the screen, it's his right arm, left side, it's his left arm. It's always that one arm that's his weak spot. Just stun him forever. Irwin's free.
More often than not, he gives you that little jump in to get the blind spot too. Very rarely he can do like a double jump in or kind of jump down, and you have to be really quick to reline up with him. But as long as you're quick, you can get it.
If he jumps down, just move down one step and then just hit him. That's the only way I do. Unfortunately, leukemia is done. You can't go back there ever again, which is unfortunate, but...
Yeah, a little sad, because I think it's one of the cooler areas in this game, but...
That's one of the two places you can't revisit.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense lore-wise why they had to make it go away, because you're technically the corpse of a old dragon.
Same with Draconis' castle. You can't go back there either.
Yeah, the flames. Yeah. But unless you don't complete the quest.
I mean, once you're there, you can't leave.
Yeah.
Both of the dream areas become inaccessible as well.
You actually can.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In that first area with the white dragon, if you head down instead of up, you could leave the flames.
Yeah, that's true. But once you go into the actual like castle part of the flames, I think it locks you there. Yeah.
Thanks, Chrono. I appreciate that. Once you beat Irwin, though, if you need a bathroom break, you get 5 minutes to go ahead and take the bathroom. So
yeah, 5 minute unskippable cutscene. So
with no mashing, which is good. So you can sit there and just let it play out.
Yeah. But we got Mecha now in Leucemia. And up on the first Selva.
So what's your debate on this? People keep saying that the male character is like a 0.2 faster than the female. I don't see it.
Oh, the speeds of the two characters. So I haven't done the wake up timing, but in PSX the male character did wake up like a tiny bit quicker. I'm not sure if that's still true in the remaster. Very, very small. And then also there are certain text differences with like he, her, or like when Boyd is like talking about your character, he says funky hat or weird looking sticks, so that takes a little bit longer for the female, I believe. So yeah, the male is actually like a very small amount quicker overall, but
it wouldn't make much of a difference though. It saves like half a second.
Yeah, roundabout. I mean, enough that I don't think anyone's really
noticed.
Or I don't think anyone really just says I'm going with male just to save that quarter of a second. I think a lot of people play female still. I'll still switch to female.
I do both.
The big time loss is if you're doing all events. The pirates have extra text boxes for you.
Yeah. I knew I was forgetting one. Right.
Yeah, 5 or 6 where the captain's like, be a man of the sea, and the first mate says, but she's a girl.
Yeah, so in the longer categories, I imagine it's got to add up a little bit more, but yeah, like you're saying, maybe quarter to half a second for these shorter categories.
If you notice on the text box on Phonis' screen, Erwin nicely calls her a cancer. He says it in a nice way by calling her a disease, but we all know what he meant.
Ah, Mech stunned himself with spins.
I think for the most part this run, both runners have been pretty good at spacing out their spins. I mean, there have been a couple dizzies on both sides, I think, but
Yeah.
for the most part, the setups have been pretty clean.
It's like Caillou, that's messed up, Chrono.
All my practice for Jumi has helped me get a better feel for the spins.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jumi, diamond skip, Jesus.
Heavy.
Do you guys still do diamond skip?
Yeah, diamond skip's in the record now.
Heck yeah, it is. Diamond skip's great.
That's gotta be lucky to get diamond skip now, just because.
Nice clip, Mecha.
Yeah, we got there.
Second one, you got no problem. First one was.
First one didn't happen. I'm not very good at the first one, I know it.
I'm gonna practice that myself just so I can get it down.
Yeah, first one's harder.
It saves a lot of time if you can get it down. Beamer's like consistently with it all the time. I don't think I've seen him miss it once.
I missed the first one. Like,
that's why I put you on female for the RPG limit break one.
Oh yeah.
Took away your cue.
Yeah, when I'm playing female, I just have to kind of wing it. I'm just like, I think this feels like the same amount of movement. Sure, let's go for it.
Right, exactly.
But even with the visual cue, I still mess it up sometimes. You know, touch too far to the left or right, and you don't get it. And it's such like, I mean, it's a nice time save, but it's not like the hugest of time saves. So, you know, if you spend too long trying to wiggle through, eventually it just, you know, diminishing returns, and it's worth it to go for the skip.
Yeah.
So if I don't get it, you know, within the first couple seconds, I typically just talk to him and eat the little time loss. Phonis finished up with the Heaven's Gate quest, and he has now placed the 18 artifacts and is triggering the second to last quest of the game, Cage of Dreams. So this is one of the big reasons why we've been making sure to dump artifacts and get more artifacts. It's because not only do we have to complete a storyline like Fairy or Dragon or Jumi, but we also have to have 18 artifacts on the board, or this quest will not trigger.
Yeah, the Google Caillou. Yeah, no worries. All right, let's see how Mecha does on Erwin here. As Phonis goes through the Dream World.
Dream World's a pretty simple section, but enemies have a good little bit of health, and you can actually lose a decent bit of time if you get too many XP drops because of how far out they go.
Yeah, you kind of praying for item drops in the Dream World.
I mean, you kind of get these time losses all throughout the game, but it's very noticeable here. But all right, Erwin time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rough start.
I was a little too far up. Just wasn't taking the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kept evading too, hopping around in the middle of the.
two back-to-back ST. That you
Yeah,
don't want to see that.
The rough thing with
Pretty
Erwin
standard
is
for Erwin, though.
he'll do the second ST after the first one.
And this was with the long ones too, so you have to wait it out.
And 50% of the health is gone.
Oh, wait, he got it. Oh no.
Oh wow, this is kind of close.
Ooh. He had it there for a second, but it was like I think, a half second late on one of the power attacks, and Irwin like barely nudged forward.
Oh, this is a trolly Irwin fight. Jesus.
This is what, the fourth? Uh-oh. If he gets hit, it might be...
Oh, no, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's in a good spot.
Oh, and then he got blocked in by his hitbox. It's one of the issues with some of these really large hitboxes is if you get like inside them like that, you can just get infinitely pushed into a wall.
Oh, another ST. Jeez, this is a really bad Irwin fight.
Yeah, Irwin's not really giving him time to recover either. Like, sometimes if this happens, you can kind of like, Irwin will kind of stop for a second jump, and you can kind of like get that, you know, time to actually reposition yourself, but he's just letting him have it.
He wouldn't let me take an action there at the end.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again.
Phonis has entered the Sword of Mana, which is the final dungeon in the game.
Yep. Whoa, that was weird. I've never seen Irwin just walk. Okay. I didn't know he could just walk like that.
He can. It's really rare he does it, though.
Yeah, normally he hops around.
I've seen him walk like 3 times in my old playthrough.
Oh, close.
Ooh. Almost perfect, Irwin.
No second ST for you, buddy. Get those hammers in there.
GG, though. Good
Nice,
fight second time around.
There you go.
I'm getting there. Thank you. Bonus
Yeah,
on the climb.
His stun spot's right on his arm, too, which is the weird part.
Yeah, no, those were some weird fights. Be interesting to go look at that. Phonis is on the climb.
Yep, Phonis is in the mana tree. These are some of the strongest enemies in the game, especially for the short single storyline categories, because
There's a good place where Counter-Strike comes in handy.
Yeah, Counter-Strike can give you a lot of nice strats here. But this is the land that we placed last, placed in 19th out of, you know, all 19 lands we placed, so it's going to be one of the strongest, probably the strongest we go through for Faerie. It can be a little bit easier in the longer categories because you can place it early.
Right?
What's that?
Only 2 away from home, though, right? Like we do.
Yeah,
our
only
best.
2 away from home. Right, dealt with that Basilisk pretty nice. He can, that little walkway that the Basilisk is on can troll you sometimes because you just miss the hit on the Basilisk, and then he can kind of chain flattens on you, which is very annoying and costly.
So, Phonis PBs, I'll make sure to deny his run.
Yeah, that does look like a lot of gold.
Yeah, he's on pretty solid pace right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice PB.
I mean, we got to see how the goddess goes. You know,
Right,
can never call it too early, but he's built up a pretty decent lead.
So, about the mana tree, you have to kill enemies in all 4 sections to get teleported to the Mana Goddess fight. Otherwise, you won't go anywhere.
Yeah, and in each section, there's like an annoying enemy. The first one has the tree. The second one has the, well, depending which way you go. The next one has the gray ox, which can be annoying. The 3 dragons all together, they're just really strong. And then the last one has the tomato man. So.
With the dragons, the one Blammo will take care of them, no problem. So that's not much of an issue.
Yeah, assuming they all line up for you nicely and you wait.
One of the issues you can have on the dragon fight is they all drop XP. And it's a lot of XP when it comes from dragons, and that's a big spread, and picking that all up takes a long time.
Sometimes it's behind the pillar in the middle of the area.
Yeah, you can get a quick pickup, but most of the time you're going to end up letting it despawn.
Oh, I think, did he get the land dragon too? Yeah, he did. Yeah, the sky dragon still survived.
Oh, Sky Dragon didn't get hit? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes one of them survives, or usually I think it's a land dragon that stays farthest away. But
maybe sometimes a Sky Dragon can do a little swoop in and dodge your attack. maybe that's... Tomato Man and the Counter-Strike and the Tyrannos. All right.
All right, now it's time for the Mana Goddess.
This is the final boss of the game. This is where you're going to see a lot of Counter-Strike coming into play. And you have to see if it hits and if she cooperates. It's a pretty straightforward fight, but she can be trolly. She can do a lot of things to disrupt you, and there's a lot that can go wrong.
One thing you want to notice is the only time she'll ST is when the phases of the moon are at different positions.
There's 1, 2.
ST.
Okay, 2 is pretty standard. You can get 3 Counter-Strikes off, but you got to be pretty tight with them.
Oh, we got hit too by the ST. That's unfortunate.
Hard. Yeah.
It's not a horrible one to get hit by, though. There's 3. And time.
Let's fucking go.
GG.
130.
Very nice.
53. Nice PB.
Whew.
I'll do it again, but faster.
Dude, I was so tilted by tea time. My highway and tea time were like just tilted the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of your other battles were really good, like very low ST boss battles.
Yeah. I had good bosses for sure. Spriggan got 2 STs, 0 on Boreal, 0 on Irwin. Those are the ones that mattered. But oh my god!
Now do it again, but faster with 0 ST Spriggan. Go.
I was so tilted at highway. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I like when I was keeping pace with you on highway. Almost, I was like, "This ain't right." Like,
oh my god, my highway was so bad. Mantis Ant lived with like 1 health, and then I dropped my my cancel in the end.
GG, Phonis.
GG. What happened to you?
Bro, I don't know. You guys left me in the dust.
I told you I was going sub 140 today.
Dude, you had so many glods and you were -2. Now you're -320?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good. GG.
Oh, don't worry. I'll deny his run.
I skipped 139.
Yeah.
I lost like 30 seconds on tea time as well.
I will only submit your run if it's sub 135. Otherwise, I'm denying it.
Ah, snap.
Also elevated. I'm looking at the bar on the bottom, and I think something's changed since I started my run.
Hey, we hit 200. Look at that.
Holy moly.
Oh, nice.
Let me take a look.
Goal. Nice.
Good job, everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't watching when it happened, but I was watching while Phonis was finishing.
Let me take a quick look into that.
I was shaking at Irwin.
It's impossible not to. When that music kicks in, like...
I was getting nervous. I'm like, man, if I drop this Irwin, it's over. I've been preparing for a sub 140 all month. That feels so good. Even with a rough start.
Too bad I'm rejecting it.
I need someone else to verify it. Get out of here.
No, I'm not that mean. Wait till Lemur because he cheats.
And I wanted to do it in this race because it's more fun that way. So.
Yeah, great work. You've been practicing and it paid.
Dude, that puts you in second.
Yeah, by a bit.
I'm coming by a little bit. Yeah.
I'm coming for Lemur. Fine. I need to make him a little uncomfortable. We give him too much space.
No, Lemur cheats too much. He'll get sub like 130 in like 2 weeks.
God, I know.
Sub 130 would be fucking insane.
Yes, I did. Everybody wants some
Oh
more.
no, you said yes.
He'll make it faster than Dragon.
It's floor time.
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta step away.
He'll get sub 130 in like 2 weeks. So he'll just recharge bionic fingers. I'm like, I'm done. Like, what happened?
It'll be a completely different route, like different weapon buys and everything. It'll be something out of left field, you know?
You saw him manages to skip the goddess completely.
Hey, let me just say thank you to Anonymous for the $30 gift that brought us up to 200. That's just absolutely out of this world. Thank you so much.
Oh, we reached the goal of 200. Nice.
Yeah, we did.
Personally, I want to poke around at the ruins lockup, see if there's something more there than just a lockup. That's one of the few places we have that's consistently weird.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll look at Phonis' run and be like, I'll approve it, but GG, do it faster. Just hit enter. And without getting hit.
Invincible run. Invisibility.
Oh, don't worry, Lemur has like backup accounts ready, so that way I can't, not submit this stuff to him.
I gotta make all the Smurfs.
He has Lemur, Lemar, Lemori. He has a whole bunch of Lemur accounts in the background just waiting.
Smurfing seems like one of the least effective things you can do on speedrun.com.
It's like, this guy looks oddly familiar with his runs.
Well, that, and then like you could just have done them on your real run, and then like you'd have better scores there. Like,
yeah.
So we see Mecha still in the dream world, fighting his way through, getting to the end.
I'm back.
2 items on that photo fight. That's nice. It's kind of what you want to see. Triple's obviously the best, but the more items you can get, the better here.
I gotta run again and get sub 150 at some point.
Hell yeah, man.
But it's just I've had this post-COVID call for a month, and it screws with my running because like I can't pay attention to the timer.
ugh.
It's been a whole month since telling me.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's Lemur's fault.
When in doubt, blame Lemur.
Exactly.
We can get sub 150 here. We can do it.
Yeah,
Oh my god, you got that, dude. You got that.
The first one I did, it was my first attempt at the new run. So, I mean, obviously I didn't memorize it, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Still got sub 2 in my first run, so that's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, with a good goddess, you could still sub 150. For sure.
I know where my time saves are at. It's kind of, I gotta memorize it all. Still using the guide because it's my first time doing it.
Yeah. Yesterday was the first time I did a run without a guide, and I did a couple things out of order, but still got like a 142.
So what it is I ran the OG run for so long that one's still stuck in my brain. So like I'm making mistakes, putting the wrong artifacts on the wrong place. I'm like, no, it doesn't go there. Go back.
I think I did Faerie on PS1 like once.
When's Gilbert percent?
It might be next.
And you're the ones in charge of the board, not me.
It might be next.
All future,
percent.
all stories, all difficulties, please.
Ooh, yeah, all stories, all difficulties.
I got
All
a
events, all
plan.
difficulties.
I
I
got a plan
like
for
all stories, all
stories.
difficulties better.
Okay, so next marathon, who's doing platinum percent?
Probably me.
Bonus
I
did it for
people who
our
can do it right
one.
now.
I'm not sure if I get an option.
No, I need to do one. Like if we're gonna do one in the marathon, like I have to do one. I committed to it.
I just feel like if it's in a marathon, I have no choice but to be a part of it.
Well, that's fair. Like you can do comms this time instead of having me do comms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's fine. If other people want to play it, I'll absolutely not.
I'll run next year.
I'll not spend 10 hours.
No, I'm gonna run next year.
That's what I want to see. I want everyone to play this game more.
I doubt my cough will last a year, so I'll run next year.
Sure.
I really do want to see all difficulties, all stories, though. You had a route ready, almost ready for that I'm really, really liking. Or at least you were close to it.
Yeah, Lemur brought the idea up to me, and I think I have an overall idea. I've just been working on Faerie for the last month and a half.
I remember us talking it over a bit. Like,
yeah, hey, that's not fair, Colonel. I'm rusty.
I think it'd be a cool way to, explore like a new game plus run option essentially, you know, because we always talk about like if we were to do a Nightmare and no future run, what would be the standard rules that we'd play by, you know? But this just
and then the other thing is now that we have
don't
Steam,
give in to him, Eller. What are you doing?
Right. Now that we have Steam, I have a save file, right, like that has, you know, enough of everything so anybody can put together the tempers, right? Like, so people really want to explore the idea of like a no future run where you have anything you want to have tempered, right? Like, or whatever you want to kind of run with those new game plus options, right? Like, I have a save file that supports it, right? So people could definitely explore that space if they wanted.
I was just basing my route off of Malkar's 999 attack weapon route.
Right.
And then just routing that into Dragon and then going from there.
Right. Now we talked about it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just routing Dragon around that is the only thing that matters, and then the next two are whatever.
Right.
Exactly. Your ridiculous handicap. That sounds so messed up. It's like if Tyson fought an infant.
I told you, Lemur, once you told me that Boreal Hound had a blind spot, that I'd find it. And it's worse.
It's his back leg and his head.
It's just being below him. You have to just be barely below him, and where you can still hit his hitbox. That's all it is. And it's not easy to necessarily get there, but if you do, he doesn't do shit.
I'm still trying to get the Selva skip.
134. My first Selva skip was a little slow, but it worked out.
Phonis, you need to go back and watch my.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, I set up differently.
My Boreal fight was actually unreal. I did not deserve that 0 ST Boreal fight.
Oh, you got 0 ST on Boreal?
Yeah,
I got this 0 ST Boreal on his absolute mess. Just 100% all over the battlefield 0 ST. It was wild.
He was moonwalking across the sky.
He slowly jumped back like 7 times, I think.
I plan on rewatching just to listen to everyone's commentary since I muted because I was trying to get that sub 140.
Sure.
Oh, the dragon here, the stupid sky dragon, dodged by Blammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, jerk.
Most of the commentary was me blaming Lemur for cheating.
On highway, my highway Blammo, someone dodged it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did see that.
Yeah, I was so tilted.
What play was that? I don't think I've ever seen a dodge.
The Chobin Hood Blammo on highway.
Chobin Hood just like keeps shooting and never moves forward at all.
Well, I hit the Chobin Hood. It was like the guy, whatever enemy it is, who was like right next to you, somehow didn't get hit.
Oh,
What?
the Stinger Bug?
Yeah,
Stinger Bug.
he just didn't get hit.
So
I've
close,
never had
yeah.
that happen. Also, this
That's
was my first time ever getting Sharp Claw in this run, but I didn't put jump on because I don't know how to do the fight with jump.
Oh, actually, someone, I just want to point out, donated $5 more, so
Hey,
over $205 out of 200. Sweet.
I should probably set up a bingo now.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, you probably should.
I think actually I was talking to Elevated and well, let me see.
Alright, I can't wait to watch that.
Hey, so Phonis, make sure to send me the link to capture for that bingo card.
Yeah,
So
I'll message you now. It's
Yeah.
all right. So let me make the room.
I just want to point out that the original goal was $100 and L had to double it since it was met yesterday. So everybody who watched the stream yesterday and today are so generous. Blew it out.
He's in the corner. We're done.
More
GG.
heads.
There you go.
Oh, GG.
Nice.
Shut up, Chrono. You know I
Do
stream.
it! Why didn't she attack me there? That was rude. We're gonna get SC'd again. Why didn't she attack me there?
Oh, we spoke too soon.
Oh.
Oh, too soon. I counted my chickens and they did not hatch. Alright.
Jeez.
I don't have enough time to plan this bingo.
There it
You
is.
didn't say
GG.
it's not a plan though with the bingo.
Yeah, sure.
You gonna stop your timer there, buddy? It's still going.
Yeah, I was getting there. I don't have it on my
20
seconds. I have it on my
over.
mouth, so it's like I have to click on stuff.
It's only like 20 seconds over the time limit.
GG Mecca.
Mm.
That's still better than my time. I like 6 minutes.
Thank you.
What do you mean? Chrono was playing Xenogears the other day. I was streaming. Kind of.
Vic?
All right.
Well, good job to both of you. I think you both played
I don't know what I'm
really,
talking
really
about.
well.
All right, that's fine.
Mecca, I think you had some unfortunate things happen on boss fights, but a lot of your mob fights were looking really, really
He
good.
he got bodied by Irwin.
Oh yeah, I got bodied by Irwin, but also we need to look at that second Irwin fight. That was weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
That was
Not only did he
weird.
get bodied by Irwin, but afterwards Irwin just dragged his butt over his face like that's what you get.
Yeah.